today. I'm sorry. I just feel like harping on it for a second. My commentary for entertainment purposes only, my thoughts, commentary, opinions only, not for educational purposes. But Titus Moore said something that I love. I've never heard him say anything that I loved as much as this today. And he said, follow God, not Titus. That's why I put it in the title. And I wanted to go over it again because I feel like I did kind of a crap job earlier. I didn't really go into detail about a few things I mentioned, but then I didn't really talk about it. It's easy to do. Okay, why can I never remember where to put my light? Okay, so over a year. Wow, it's been like almost 2 years, maybe a year and a half. I made a live talking about Titus Morris. Hey, how are you doing, Bathy? And I'm going to yeah, I'm gonna go in the history while people okay. Oh, hey, Gleam, how are you doing? Oh, that sounds good. My husband ate a cheeseburger. It was really good. And it was like this cheese from the deli we don't usually get that he got on sale. It's really good. So I think that a huge problem with these times and is like people are lost in following other lost souls. And like, even though I'm not religious, I do think that like religion can be good for some people and it's healthy and just having a relationship with God and people are thirsty for it. Vegetable fried rice. Um, Titus Morris is somebody who's not a Kentuckian. He's like lived here for a long time. His parents laid down roots here and they were Seventh-day Adventists. He himself was kicked out of the Seventh-day Adventist church because they claimed he was too forthcoming with his anti-abortion thoughts. Isn't that funny? Like a Seventh-day Adventist church was like, you need to tone it down. You need to turn the religiosity down a bit. And he has this checkered past, and it really came out in a court setting when he admitted in court. There's videos, I've seen them, that he committed bestiality for 10 years of his life into his adulthood and he was indecent around children. I'm sorry. I'm sure a few of you are probably like sick of hearing the story. And I do understand that. And I hope you can just like skip this and then like, come back later or something. But like, I do feel it's important and Saturday night when I'm probably going to get more views than earlier to let people know what exactly I'm sorry. And yeah, I just can't stop thinking about it. Oh, and don't take that like I literally can't stop thinking about it, but I keep coming back to it like, wow, this is crazy. There's like this saga of this man who he started off as like a street preacher type, but he was mostly in the countryside and he would like hitchhike barefoot to Nashville, Tennessee and like stand on the corner and preach. Mine been gone. Oh, really? And so he had a small YouTube channel. This woman found him on YouTube that is his now wife, this woman named Stephanie, and she uprooted her family. Her husband, two children at the time, went to live down the road from Titus. And this was because she was so inspired by his YouTube videos. And I don't know exactly how he got on Peter Santinello's channel, but if you don't know who Peter Santinello is, he tends to travels a lot and he interviews people like things that are like the less traveled path. I don't know how to say it. I'm sorry. I'm at a loss for words. He interviews people that live certain ways of life that are often showcased when it comes to documentaries and such. And his most viewed videos contain Titus, and he does seem like such a light when you just see this young man climbing trees and acting like very joyful. And it's so interesting to me. I think it's super interesting how it just shows so much of what is wrong with what people turn Christianity into, what religion can do to people, and how somebody like him might be the type of person to cling to it. Anyways, he gets on Peter Santinello's channel and blows up, and people see him and are like, oh, wow, he's so filled with God. I want to support this person because I think he should have his own church. And so then they raised hundreds of thousands of dollars. They are also using it for divorce court proceedings because at this point, around then, Stephanie decides to leave her husband. She has accusations against him. I'm not going to go over on this channel, but let's just say she said he wasn't a great husband, and he could be abusive, and he and her battled over custody. In that process, Titus said the stuff about being indecent and then the bestiality, and this is why Titus isn't allowed around her three children. So Yes, it does bother me, is it bothers me to see people support them. I don't know how else to say it. This man has admitted to being indecent in front of children several times. I don't think that that's like a mistake. I think about the good men in my life. Like I think about my husband. Like, if I found out that he did those things, I would feel like I didn't know him. It wouldn't be the same man. And not everybody has done these things over and over in front of people. What are you talking about, Jason? Cannibalism? Oh, thank you, Jason. But never control a woman. Let her do exactly what she wants. That way she will reveal her character. Observe and react. Chuck, that's pretty good advice. Are you saying that because of Stephanie and Titus? Because there's so much to talk about, you guys. And so that is like telling you the overview. So then flash forward, they're married for a year. I mean, within 3 or 4 months of getting married, she was upset over the fact that she wasn't getting pregnant. And she's like 40 years old, and I'm just saying that factually. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But she was obviously trying to like start this new family, and I've seen that cycle so many times. And it's just so sad to me, like as soon as somebody leaves one family, like as soon as they can, they're pregnant again. And I just think I don't I know that's probably not for me to speculate on, but I think that she's not been a good influence. He already was doing evil things. This is how I look at people that do indecent things with children. They're like inhuman to me. I'm sorry, they're not even human, they're demons. You have to be absolutely evil. You're not a human being if you can take pleasure out of taking the innocence from a child. Like you might think that it's not as bad as straight up, but he doing what he did in front of children, that's taking innocence away, And I'm not trying to say it is just as bad literally, but it's not good. It's not forgivable. It's not something any grown man should get away with doing. And if he wasn't inviting people to his defunct church through his YouTube videos, it wouldn't matter as much. I'm sure there's a dime a dozen. Most men that do shit, that have shit like that in their past, they also have some kind of shame or some kind of balance of shame and pride that causes them to like go, away from a lot of people, at least by the time they're like middle aged. Oh, everybody's being so nice tonight. Thank you, Tony. You should stop by. What snowstorm? There isn't a snowstorm. You're kidding. No, I didn't watch any of the Olympics, Roy. I did not watch it. No, Anthony. Why do people ask that? I swear that people ask that on Saturday nights. What is the deal with that? So flash forward to 2 days ago. This person is living in Liberty, Kentucky. It's Casey County, Kentucky. I mean, I do that. You can tell somebody's not from the countryside when they call the county. You can tell somebody's from around here when they talk about the county they're from, not the town they're from. People that are from around here, they don't say Liberty, they say Casey County. So anyways, because that's how the counties are. Like I've explained, there's usually one town that's actually a town and the rest is like very, very rural. And I think it's a good place to start these parallel societies, or could be. So 2 days ago, a YouTuber who makes a lot of content on Titus. His channel is beyond category. He was on Titus's road looking for his dogs, and Titus decided to come out with a chainsaw. And now they are both saying like corroborating things. So I feel finally this is like what they both said, that Titus knew Aaron was around. Aaron has pictures of this, but Titus was the one that really spilled most of the beans, which I thought was super interesting. Like he was trying to get ahead of something or something on his video, 40 minutes long, talking about how he was in fear, like he thought Aaron's dogs might harm his animals, which in my opinion is a joke. In my opinion, it's a joke. And he had this chainsaw to cut down trees in effort to keep the dogs away or to really screw over. He was going to cut down trees on either side of his property. This is a public road. It's not like his driveway. And do that to spite Aaron. So this is, hi, can you shout out my dad? He's suffering from cancer and whatever. And whenever, what's your dad's name, Kiana? Don't tell these people where you live, girl. Oh, I don't, Roy. I don't. I just say South Central Kentucky. I've said I don't live in Casey County because I don't, but My apartment flooded at 3 a.m. The guy on the fifth floor passed out in the shower. That really sucks, John. Gloom theology leads to an ego needing a following that gives off cult vibes in today's greed. I really like how you explain that, Gloom. Um, he is like pure ego. I don't know if he would survive an ego death. He is so egotistical. And then I'm always in the back of my mind, I'm like, I don't know what is going on. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not going to diagnose him, but like, I don't know if there's like a personality disorder. I don't know if there's a traumatic brain injury. And that's what I just think is like extra creepy about Stephanie, his now wife. The way he said, I don't want to go after anybody in court in this video. And then she's like, but it would cost this much, and if anybody wants to donate to us, that would be great. And then he's like, I don't want to go through a long, drawn out court process. And she's like, but it wouldn't be that long, Titus. And it's like, oh my gosh, like, um, I don't want anything bad to nah, I don't even want to think about like the baby being in this stressful of a situation. But it's like these people. Okay, so this is what I started to go into too. I just feel like it's not a very healthy environment. There's a lot of tension. He was talking about contentment, and anybody that knows anything about marriage knows like you starting to, be stressed out and hold resentment against each other, and you can just like feel the tension. You're talking on screen about court. Titus said, sometimes I do not trust the Lord to do things in his time and in his way. And when I take things into my own hands without counseling the Lord, then I can do some stupid things which are an overreaction. And so it's very interesting to hear. It's like he needs so much guidance because his conscience is like after 34 years, I think, on this earth, after seeing his wife give birth a mere month, less than a month before this, he is just gonna like lose his shit and go out there with the chainsaw, which I think is like super interesting and indicative of he's not anybody's spiritual leader, or he shouldn't be. And he said that. He said, follow God, don't follow me. And it's like, but people gave you hundreds of thousands of dollars to build a church. This is the thing. I totally agree with what he's talking about. And if he really did want to help his community, like maybe there wouldn't be like a big church, but there would be like some kind of community outreach going on. They get so many packages and they have these videos, these unboxing videos, and you can call me jealous all you yeah, I am. Once again, one is you think the person doesn't deserve it. Yeah, I don't think that they deserve all these donations they get. And it's very interesting to me how there's people who are actually in need, and people will choose to pass up those families and give money to people they know don't need it. And that's also part of the issue with this culture. I'll never forget that large man abroad. I really like his channel, but he was like, nobody starves to death in our country. Churches will always feed people. And I was like, no, that's not true though. And I hate to say it, but it's gonna get to the point where I don't even think that's going to be an easy feat. Oh, hey, Chris, how are you in Tennessee? God have mercy on your father with his cancer, Jeb said to Kiana. That's nice, Jeb. Hi, Edge, how are you? What's up? Oh, I thought you were saying what's up. You reminded me of the Budweiser frogs. Oh my gosh, I'm dating myself. The emperor must live. Gloria Emperor. I don't know what you're talking about. What are you doing playing basketball? Hiding behind a badge and committing acts of crime is the same as a priest hiding behind a cross. And it's super interesting, Gloom said. Titus is friends with somebody who used to be like a federal prosecuting attorney. I don't know this guy. Like, I had no idea until Aaron made a post that, okay, so supposedly that guy is involved with like some boys camp. I'm not even gonna say what I think about that. Then it's like all the connections are starting to make sense. No wonder this guy who's like a legal expert like wants to take Titus under his wing. And it's like this is part of the issue. It's like birds of a feather. And that's part like it doesn't matter who calls himself Christian, what they say about God. Actions speak louder than words. And like people think that he should be able to lead a church, but like a woman shouldn't because she's too emotionally reactive. But then you've got men committing most violent crimes. Like, how is that not being over emotional when you're being that aggressive that you're taking people's lives? You're going after people with chainsaws and not thinking about it until later and being like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. And I should have been a better example. He said all the right things because it's true. He wasn't being a good example. He knows people are gonna be disappointed, but it was really interesting, you guys, how many people were like, "It's not." the worst thing in the world if you, kill the dog. I'm just gonna say it. I think I can say it, whatever. Mm, Talking about Aaron's dogs, which have been on his property, which they know well. I'm saying he is scared that this dog or both of them have gone after a goat and a cat. But if you know anything about their channel, there's like animals coming and going all of the time. Like I really don't think they're that concerned about that goat or that cat or whatever. But that's just my opinion. Um, in short, there are two types of people in the world, one good, two bad. Gloom, you're so right. It's just like I know I say the same shit. Every group of people, there's good and bad ones, right? Like every single one. Every group that gets polarized is like one or the other. There's still good people in it, and that's what makes the I think that's what is kind of that's what's so neat. And we have so many lessons to learn. There's so many different variations of a person, and you should walk into every meeting with a new one, like you never know what you're going to get. And that's what's so beautiful about life. It would be really boring if you knew exactly what a person was going to be right away. And this is a great example of somebody who wants to be some kind of martyr. In the court case, they even asked him, do you consider yourself a prophet? And he wouldn't answer yes or no. And then he kept saying, do you judge a tree by the fruit that it bears? And like the lawyer kept saying, answer yes or no, yes or no." It was like 5-year-old child in speech therapy. Da, 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 yes or no, yes or no. It was ridiculous. And that was I whenever he was in that court case, I said it then. I was like, I couldn't imagine being a partner with this person because we all knew back then they were going to end up getting married and everything. Like, I couldn't imagine. It might seem it's one of those things like the quality you love about somebody can often turn into the one that you turn on like spiteful against. No, spiteful isn't the right word, but he might seem like fun when he's sucking up all the air in the room when you first meet him, and it's charming, and he gets everybody's attention, and everybody respects him. But then, a few years, a few months later, it's like, oh my gosh, this man thinks he knows it all. I can't tell him anything. You could just like, I know, I don't care. He went and got that, like, what was it? Was it 40 acres? He has a lot of land and a single wide, and he went and lived there like he was because you could tell he was the kind of person that's like my way or the highway. That's it. And so he said in this video, he asked God what to do that day, and he said to organize the disorganized, and that's what he was doing. Wow. I think he said a lot when he said that. I have no idea if they literally, I mean, his place does look like a bit of a wreck. You definitely should be organizing that before you have a mobile toddler, and it'll happen before you know it. That baby will be crawling around, God willing, in like 4 months or so, and like or around there. And so this is completely speculative, okay? They share almost everything about their lives on the internet. They shared them in the hospital with their daughter. Like nothing is sacred with these people besides like that. I guess they're never going to show that. They don't even show their arms. But I think that it's really, really interesting that they live in a lot of clutter. When you see Amish houses, it's like, and he is cosplaying to be Amish. I don't care what you think. No clutter. They're very, very clean. They're like so clean and not a lot going on. And I'm sure there's families that are more cluttered, but like typically they don't have tons of stuff everywhere. And that's how his trailer is. And he has this big ass wood stove that's not approved for a single wide. But okay. Cody, go get in the shower. Alvin, how are you, Alvin? Mormon started from a prophet pretty recently. It is a religious sector now. Oh yeah, Gloom, that's a good point. Yeah, so he thinks that he's creating some kind of new religious sect. He really does because he'll use Seventh Day Adventist everything. He even, says the Sabbath is Saturday. He literally is like a Seventh Day Adventist still, but he won't say that. But then he acts like he's like taking things and putting them together. And like he was talking about chakras, but he didn't say the word chakra. I'm like, you're talking about chakras, and you think that you're like, um, it is interesting. Oh my gosh, I completely forgot. He had a Bible. What was it with the upside down pentagram? It was a Freemason Bible, And I wanna say there was some kind of pentagram or something on the front. I totally forgot about that. And then he tried to say he forgot that that was the Bible he was using for years because he covered it up with the cereal box because he knew it was bad. But then that's like what his is like, even if it's like unintentional, Aaron's done a few videos about like witchcraft type stuff. Oh my gosh. Um, Anybody that really thinks that it's like a humiliation ritual or something. Anybody who really thinks that they're intaking like a pure spirit's walk with the Lord when they watch Titus Morris content and to take him seriously after seeing him talk about how somebody made him mad, so he went and got his chainsaw. It that says it all about his character. And I don't think that anybody, if he was in a church where there was a bishop or somebody above him, I don't think anybody would be like, yeah, that checks out. You're good to go. Just come back next Saturday and do your thing. No, this is like every time we've found out about anybody who claims to be strictly against gay people, and then it comes out that they're closeted, he claims to be so full of God and like his life is devoted to God. And then he's like, I need to spend some more time with God. Like, isn't that all you do? Like, what else do you do? And when he gets into his own head, he immediately goes to, I'm going to cut a tree down here and then I'm going to cut another tree down here. I'm going to have nobody able to come. Screw absolutely everybody else in the world. An 18-year-old boy that resides with him told him not to do it. And he said, I should have listened to him. It's proof that even sometimes a younger person, and I will, that is true. Okay. Like I've learned from younger people, but honestly, not in times of like, uh, don't put your hands on people when you're angry type situations. Is that like I never had somebody like 15, 20 years younger than me have to like talk me down from a situation like that. And but he is right. Like we can learn from younger people. It happens all the time on YouTube. I get inspired by people that are like way younger than me and I feel kind of humbled by it. And I think that that's cool, but this is not what we're talking about. The great white hope. That is such a joke. The great white devil. Gloom, Geneva Bible was before the King James Version. Masons have a private Bible, very rare for the public to have one. They usually appear to the public after death from a grandchild that doesn't read books. Yeah, whatever it was freaking weird. Hopefully somebody will jog my memory, but it was definitely not strictly Christian. And I think he did say it was a I don't know for sure what version he uses. Mine is from my dad, Big Dean. That's nice. Masons have two Bibles, one for their Mason halls, one private. Okay, Gloom. Somebody will. And the thing about Aaron's content is he makes so much content, which good for him. I wish I had that in me, but it's also like sometimes it can be a little hard to find. But I bet if we looked it up on his channel, Titus Bible, we would see it. Um, Oh, it's just such a good example of so many things. Like who you decide to partner with in life is the biggest decision you'll ever make in your life. It's so important to get with the right person, and you get with the wrong person, and their mindset is off, and then you're going to be imagine everything Titus would have if he wasn't using the money people gave to him for like attorney's fees. I mean, maybe some people sincerely were like, here's 20, 30,000 for attorney fees. But clearly the well has run dry, which it's inevitable. And they look at that as it's these mean people bullying us on YouTube, like Aaron and Henson Creek, because I barely ever talk about them, but not seeing that it is a repercussion for their actions. No, this is like what people think of. And if you can't get that, you don't understand, especially as a mother, why people are like very apprehensive to want to give to or be around or encourage others to be around a man that has done these things like that. Then I don't know how to put somebody on the right track, I just wanna spend my time with and other around other adults that are concerned, like Danielle, one of my favorite YouTubers, Danielle is her channel, just Danielle. She calls everybody her concerned friends. She's like, "Hello, concerned friends," and it's like right now we should all have a certain level of concern going on all the time, but at the same time, it can't eat us up alive because what good is that gonna do? But, it's It's really crazy, and I really worry about my kids, like, a woman does wield so much power in the relationship. I don't care what people think, and I think that's why they wanna, like, play this trope of, like, the man is the one who should be in charge, always is just naturally or whatever. It's like a woman has more power than, I think should be sometimes even, like, as an overcorrection. I know that might be, like, a hot take, but we, especially as the homemakers, spend so much time in the home, so much more time with children. Typically, not every situation, that's fine, but like we have so much power in our family as like the spiritual guide, usually, not always, but the one that educates, teaches, it molds the children like clay. And ideally, of course, the father is there to be a participant. But let's be real. In a lot of situations, especially because of late stage capitalism, neither parent is present as much as they want to be. And I said this earlier, Fendi. Hey, I'm sorry, I'm repeating a little bit of the things I said earlier. How are you, Fendi? Your grandmother has one too. Only Jesus can solve all mankind's vanities and narcissist evils. Amen. Oh, Michael. Yeah, I think that Jesus, what people think of as God and Jesus, I think that you're right. We need to be humble enough. And so that includes not pedestalizing anybody on the internet, right? Not thinking that somebody is above you. We're just all on different paths, or we're, on the same path, maybe even, but at different times. So, like, even when I feel disappointed that somebody doesn't feel the same way I do about something, I always have hope that, like, maybe in the future, they'll come around, and it has happened even recently. So Titus said, if we can't get along here on earth, how are we going to get along in heaven? And it's just, this is what I love so much about people doing YouTube videos and saying their thoughts to a screen, because, like, it really helps you understand other people's thought processes and the patterns. The way that he said that, he really does think that he's going to be like, does he picture himself with like a halo and wings and like floating around in heaven being Titus Morris? It's so interesting to me. That's what I love near death experiences too. And like, trigger warning, I'm sorry. Um, oh, love you, honey. Good night. What you do matter, what you do affects others. Observers tend to turbocharge the change. Yes, Gloom. That's interesting. I like that. Observers tend to turbocharge the change. That is so cool. Um, Oh, shoot. I knew I was gonna lose my train of thought when I said that. What was I just talking about? Good night, Boston. Greg said, "Oh, Greg, how are you doing?" Wilford Brimley died on August 1st, 2020. His apotheosis, apotheosis. I don't know how to say that word, is celebrated in his home. I tell you that. I should know how to say that. Apotheosis. Apotheosis. That's one of those words that I've read, but I don't think I've like heard or said. You know what I mean? Oh, hey, Snake. How are you, Snake? The woman has the most influence in the household, mind been gone. Yes, yes, that's what I was trying to say. That's a good way to sum it up. You're right. And it's like because of that, uh I don't think people realize how much women are behind a lot of decisions. And when it comes to somebody like their situation, all this much she designed the church that is unfinished, because they have started to build a church, if you're unaware. And it's this colossal 3-story with two huge porches, which is there's nothing like it. There is nothing like that. There are some big buildings that are like churches, but you know what? The big churches I'm thinking about around here, they're literally like huge boxes with barely any windows. It's like they were trying to build them as cheaply as possible. They weren't trying to make this big extravagant thing. And a lot of them are just like these like plainer metal buildings. There's some beautiful older churches that are smaller, but it was like they wanted to have the biggest, boldest church around. But at the same time, they give off this air of wanting control of the, because they had to buy the land across the street when it went up for sale, of like wanting control of the immediate area in a way such as like, which I can understand. I want the same thing, like to have privacy. But then again, they show everything about their lives on camera, and they have this church supposedly that's going to be for the public. And mind you, it wasn't hooked up to any utilities. So I have no idea what went on. I would like Aaron to let us know if he hasn't. if there are any inspectors involved, because supposedly, Amish people don't need building permits, and this man dresses like an Amish person. So it's like, is he skirting around the inspections and the permits because of that, or just the sake of not having utilities? It seems to me that it wouldn't be right to have a three-story building that was open to the public that had never had an inspector approve any of it before, especially seeing as though there's literal like cisterns, two huge water cisterns in the foundation of it, which I always found to be kind of strange. Maybe it's a thing that happens. We looked at a few houses with water cisterns. They were never in the house. They were always like in the garage or their own separate little shed that had the water cistern. It, correct me if I'm wrong, like a truck comes up and fills it up. So how is the truck going to come fill up these cisterns that are in the basement of a huge three-story? Hi, Delete. How are you? Or Lit. How are you? Oh, I'm glad you're doing very well, Greg. I'm so glad to see you. I already read that. So I do apologize if anybody's like in here and like, oh my gosh, I wish she wasn't talking about this again. I think that it's really important. Um, how are we going to get along here on Earth if we how are we gonna get along in heaven if we don't get along here on earth? I think that is so interesting. And could you imagine thinking like that? Okay, near death experiences, that's what I was talking about. And at the same time, being angry enough to like go and grab your chainsaw. Like, why aren't you ever thinking about like, what about heaven? That's one of the best, I'm gonna write that down. Advice I one of the best advice pieces of advice I ever got was a parent was like, "Imagine, like, 20 years from now, what would you want your kid to reflect back upon, during, like, the hard moments or something, or when you wanna, like, discipline them, but you're trying not to break their spirit, but at the same time, you're trying to discipline them." Near-death experiences have really opened up my eyes to the fact that, like, sometimes it reminds me of stuff that I experienced when I think I went to another dimension, which our government is even saying, like, yeah, there's like interdimensional beings, and we'll get into that soon. Oh, you're in Thailand? That's so cool. Jesus, take the wheel, possibly said. Yeah, I know. Shout me out. Gob hates me guts. Gob, I think Gob was in here earlier, but you might not be talking about that. Artisan wells, homes built over them, and churches. Oh, that's cool, Michael. So it is a thing. I have seen, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I have seen, not personally in real life, but I have seen like wells being in the foundation. That would be so cool. Um, so to think about like the power of water, I've been listening to a lot of content about water and the energy it carries and structured water, but I'm gonna save that for next week, for members. But I think that people gravitate towards their way of life, talking about Titus and Stephanie, and people that live in the countryside. It is healing. I do think that there is so much to be said about, and I don't want to make anybody feel bad, but like in the last place we lived, the air quality was poor, like in the red, like literally more days than not, it was like bad air quality, don't go outside unless you have to. And that's like the Ohio River Valley for you. It's like the third worst area of pollution in our country because things just like tend to sit there like around Cincinnati and everything. And people don't realize like how polluted it is. And once again, I don't want to make anybody feel bad. Like a lot of people would hate to live where I live. So I don't think everybody should have picked up and moved to where I moved to at all. Like it's not for everybody. But like I feel so much better. Like it's the opposite here. I haven't seen one day that's like air quality alert. Well, I'm sorry, during like those wildfires, I think there was one, and I was like, oh, I feel like I'm in Indiana again. Um, Water is essential. That whole topic was life-changing, Emoto. Yes. I really, really I found out so much about, and it's like all kind of subjective. A lot of people I found this one guy, and can't remember his channel, but he was talking about these magnets. I wonder if you would know who he was, Gloom. He has a kind of weird channel name, but he seemed like he was very knowledgeable about these subjects. And he recommended this kind of magnet you can get out of a hard drive, and that is you wrap the tubes around, and I know people are gonna be like, "What the hell?" This is the way I look at things. Even if it is purely a placebo effect, even if you can trick yourself into believing that something is beneficial and therefore it is, that's the only thing that's really going on, like a lot of people poo-poo homeopathy. I think there might be something to those sugar pills. I think there might be some truth to the science behind them that a lot of people are like, "Oh, this is so crazy." But and maybe that's what makes it work. And so what? Like, of course, you don't want to spend tons of money on something like that. But when it comes to having intentions on your water, some people think you just swore. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking about it. I'm trying to save this for members. I'm trying not to like do the same stuff over and over like I am right now. But near-death experiences have really showed me personally that I think there's an afterlife. There's more to this life. Our energy just becomes maybe more disordered after our bodies die, but our energy doesn't die. And what makes us energetic beings is like when we were taught in school that there's all this space in the cells, like here's the nucleus that has like the electrons and proton, like it. But like, and this is all in like just empty space. Like everything in space is nothing. It's like dark, nothing, what dark matter. Just like most of our DNA is junk DNA. Just because they can't identify what it does, it does nothing, right? Because man in the year 2025 can't say exactly what it does. Therefore, it must be because we know everything, right? It just that kills me. Near the death experiences. Gosh, I might as well have drank a beer. What are we talking about? Please fill me in. Well, right now I was talking about life after death. Oh, and my grandma grabbing my toe. Like my grandma passed away. She would always grab my toe when she said goodnight to me. And after she passed away, I knew it was her. It's like I didn't even think about it. Just like you just know when you see something with your third eye, which has only happened to me twice, you just know. You're like, I know I can't see that, but I know I'm seeing it. And it's like, wow, there's no questioning it. It's just it is what it is. So so yeah, near death experiences have really, really helped me um feel I'm just more worried about like how it's gonna happen more than it happening. Hi Shaquille, how are you doing? Hi Toonmon. So there's love Asians, JFK said. You're saying you love Asians? That's nice. Asians are great. Everybody's great. I think most people are good. I started to get in the weeds a little bit in my last live. I kept saying the predator class, the most wealthy people. And then I said white men. And then a few people were like, but I'm not bad. And like, oh my gosh, no, you're not bad just because you're a white man. No, I didn't mean it like that. But I do mean like when it comes to people talking about white people being so superior, I don't understand why it's so lost upon them that like the superiority is leading us to uh destruction and being like, so we should colonize Mars soon before our planet completely dies and nobody is climatic. Some documents were released by the government, or they're going to be released by the government, and people were talking about it, and they're saying for 80 years. Okay, so I wrote it down. Age of Disclosure. Have any of you guys seen that documentary on Amazon Prime? Uh, it was like said 34 US government officials, like it sounded like it was like a mix of like, intelligence, military, whatever. And they were saying there's been an 80-year cover up to cover up the fact that there is extraterrestrial intelligence and that we found it. And they've been trying to like reverse engineer what they found. And it's been a global thing. Like many countries have came together. Anyone here ever witnessed a UFO? Michael said, good question, Michael. I I've seen some unexplained stuff, but I wouldn't say I've definitely seen a UFO. The weirdest thing I ever saw was like some kind of animal at night. There is no cover up, Tony. Well, our own government is saying that there's documents that show that, and it does make a lot of sense because, Tan, I'm married. It does make sense to me because there's been so many people that have came out and said so many different famous stories where people were like, I saw this like craft and then I reported it and then the military came and then they like came and interviewed me and scared me, it's really a shame because people's livelihoods have been affected. People have been affected lifelong, and, like, to think that now they're um, it's crazy. Yahusha. Yeah, I've never seen it spelled that way. Said unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man come into the Father but by me. That's nice, boredom. What they found was old ancient bunkers and high-tech vehicles and more. The alien stories start after World War One. Gloom. Yes. Do you think that this has possibly happened before, like on another cycle? That's how Egyptians and other civilizations could do what they did with architecture, that they had help from extraterrestrial, like some kind of technology, or they taught them something. Oh, JFK, I'm glad that you're here. Well, right now we're talking about aliens. Supposedly, our government is releasing documents about how they're like admitting to cover ups for 80 years. It was a cover up for the development of the SR-71, Tony said. Most consumers are not ready mentally to understand the bigger picture. It is interesting, semantic, that I'm like, of course they're saying this now because I think they know that people's attention spans, was that part of did they know they had to shorten our attention span to like a crazy amount, desensitize us on top of that, and then like, boom, we'll just let the cat out of the bag. And then that's when Project Bluebeam, maybe, because what a great way to control people. Like maybe they won't be going up and down our streets, loading us in the caravans, going to the massive detention centers with their $2 million porta potties, but like they're going to be like, come on, come with us. The alien invasion is starting soon, and I'm not going. Do you think crabs look at humans and think that we walk sideways, Luke? That is really funny. That is so funny. And we look funny to them. And old reset Gloom said, yes. That's that like have those old batteries and stuff. And they're like, people didn't have this technology back then. And it's like you have no idea the timelines that had played out before though. And I think it's just like infinite possibilities. I did in 1974, May, near Wright Patterson Air Base, 12 or more witnessed women screaming, truth. Michael, that's crazy. That so it seems to me, maybe I'm wrong. It seems to me like there's less sightings. Like when I was growing up, it's almost and like people were less likely to talk about it, it was more taboo. But I feel like there was more sightings, and I almost wonder if like our electronic magnetic pollution is somehow affecting that. And I think that about other, they said interdimensional beings. I think Bigfoot might be an interdimensional being, you guys. Like, wouldn't that make sense? There are no aliens on Earth. Tony, you're free to feel that way, but they've also said that they could be. You know what I mean? They already said that there could be aliens among us. And like, I think that that there are. Like the Men in Black, I know some people think, oh, that is just so absolutely crazy to think that they were trying to pre-program us or desensitize us, but it's really not. Um, even Oh my gosh, it was so funny. The disturbing illusion guy, he made the funniest joke about how it's like he was talking about Predator, now I can't remember, but it was funny. We reverse engineered all findings. Wars are for these bunkers, Gloom said. Oh, that's really interesting, Gloom. We know the knowledge, Gerben said. Now we did it. Tesla was an engineer and now Elon for for all the junk we find, Gloom. Oh, that is so interesting. Um, it's so funny to me how they used people and called them human computers, before they had the computers that they used after. And it just makes you wonder, what am I bullshitting you about, SG? You can look this up. Look up government alien documents. I think the UFO shit is Trump trying to distract everyone and get the heat off of him. Yeah, Fendi. Yeah, they started to say stuff several months ago, but like this, saying like we're gonna show you proof. Yeah, no, I think that you're right. It's possible that humans were bioengineered, considering we can bioengineer life ourselves. If that's the case, then society will collapse due to the religious factions collectively losing it. You think so, Terror? I totally think that that's possible, but just feel like so many people are just like, I hate to say it, but like NPCs. that a lot of them would be like, whatever, just like they're doing with everything else. But I mean, I'm not God either. Twilight Zone and talk radio introduced alien stories after, oh yeah, after the writer from Mojave Desert story. Yes. We have been treated like animals for 100 years, from the food we eat down to what we read. Yes, Cymatic. I like talking to you guys so much. I'm so glad you're all here on Saturday. Read a physics book. Oh, Ryan, if I like to listen to people like on podcasts talk about stuff like that, like quantum physics, but I couldn't. If I tried to read a physics book, I would read the same paragraph over and over and not be able to really ingest it. Bigfoot is a gatekeeper of sorts, Cymatic said. Gloom. From there, they made a creative sketch of aliens and mass hysteria. Yes. It's so interesting, the same things we've been when I was younger and they said that there's absolutely no aliens, there's no other life in the whole immediate galaxy or for galaxies around. I'm like, even as a little girl, I'm like, how can they know that? How can they say that when they don't even know everything in the ocean? Hi, Beware and Care, how are you? They still have to introduce a new world religion. Um, oh, Orion said I'm too wacky conspiracy for clicks. Okay, Orion, you're free to think that. I think it's really good to have an open mind, and I've always said I don't even when I say something that might seem out there, I'm not saying I believe it 100%. I don't believe anything 100%. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying. My outdoor cat is on my bed, and now I can't move him. I forget their name, but Alien sent us a message twice saying we are destroying Earth and we will be wiped out if we don't change. Was that that thing where it was like some signal they heard in the sky? Mine's been gone. But that's been speculated too. Like a lot of people bring up this theory that one reason they don't make contact is because we're like a lost cause to them. And they're like, no, these people are destroying their planet. So we're going to just like let them duke it out. The message was from Galactic Federation made by a hacker of radio towers, Gloom said. Tony, it takes a lot of energy and time to travel to other worlds. Tony. Yes, that is so interesting to think about. I just know there's something like, so what if the multi dimensions, just the way thinking about all the variations that could play out with time, what if multi dimensions were different timelines? Or what if your timeline, each of the how do they know there's like seven dimensions, right? Like the supposedly physicists are like, this is the amount of dimensions there. The message was, I already read that. Does your milkshake bring all the boys to the yard? Thank you, Tommy. An open mind is not good. Have a mind that is guarded. Yeah, Eric, I think the life is all about balance. So ideally, you are the ideal balance of guarded and open, right? Because if you don't have an open enough mind, you're not going to learn anything new. Think about all the things that people thought would never be possible, and now that they are, and it's less of a shock to the system too when you find out this crazy shit. Traveling to Mars is a one-way ticket. Yeah, Tony. It would be for the person. Could you imagine the people, theoretically, people going to set up the infrastructure or signing up for like a literal lifetime of like living in that environment? How would you not go crazy? I mean, maybe if enough people were there, it'd be a little bit better. But I don't know what the Fermi paradox is, honestly, Tara. Can you tell me about it? Is that a quantum physics thing? Fermi. Travel to Mars is a one-way ticket. I already read that. Please, Nate said. What? I'm not gonna shake anything. I found out halal food is actually cleaner and better than the regular stuff in the store. Yeah, Fendi, I've heard that before too. Um, it's funny, my grandma would always get it if it was available. Isn't it illegal to make a crazy person even more crazy? Moonflex said. Resting bee face is on point. Oh, Duke. Well, you're the first person who's ever said that to me before. I don't feel like I have a resting bee face. I smile a ton, so it'd be kind of hard for me to keep a resting bee face. But yeah, I think that they're getting ready to, I mean, over the next few years, who knows what is going to happen exactly, but I think that they're trying to distract as well as get ready for something really big that's going to like really pull the rug out from under us. And I know that sounds like nihilistic, but I don't mean it like that. A little, Josh said. What are you saying a little about? So, what else? The I saw this lady on Fox News. She said, "You don't have that face." Thank you, Maria. How are you, Maria? I don't think I did either. And if somebody's saying that, like thinking they're gonna insult me, that's like one of the nicest trolls I've ever had. A real MTB. How are you? So, yeah, there's been a lot of people who were in the Air Force. I've heard some stories because I love this stuff. I like the paranormal out in the woods kind of thing, more like out in the ocean. You know what I mean? Like, I'm less into space sci-fi stuff, but any story anybody has of like some paranormal thing happening, and there's been so many stories pilots have had. And my father-in-law was a pilot, and I really wish I would have asked him before he passed if he saw anything in the sky ever, because that's one of the most, some of the most credible stories I feel like I've ever heard were from pilots. You're like up there seeing stuff that you don't know what it is, and like also something about the US may move to ban halal products across the country. Oh, Fendi. Why would they do that? Like, why? It is so crazy. He is crazy. And it's like what Trump is doing with the tariffs, it it's just trying to show us all he'll do whatever he wants. And I don't like that. And if you're okay with that, I'm glad for you. I'm glad you're okay with it. But I do not like the fact that he thinks, well, I'll just move the goalpost. You won't let me do what I want. I don't care. And that's not going to influence him at all. And it's like not a good feeling to have a president that's just like dancing around Supreme Court decisions. Even if it's technically legal, he is just trying to show us he doesn't have to adhere to anything but what he wants to do. Thank you, Tara. The Fermi paradox boils down to this: the conditions for life isn't uncommon, yet we see no signs of life anywhere but here. So there's billions of life forms at the same time. No one else exists. Oh, Tara, I don't think I've heard that. Or if I have, I haven't heard it explained in such a simple way. You just explained it really good. You're asking me if I what I think about it. Let me read it one more time. The Fermi paradox boils down to this: the conditions for life is uncommon, yet we see no signs of life anywhere but here. So there's billions of life forms at the same time. No one else exists. I think that that's really interesting, and it's kind of I think people like to think about stuff like that because I don't know. To me, that kind of gives me the creeps thinking about like, the possibility of there being literally nothing. Or I think that that is probably. Hmm. I think it's funny how scientists try to explain how there's nothing else going around. I don't think that that is possible, right? We have no idea. Well, I guess they have some idea. They seem to know pretty far out, like several galaxies, but we really don't know. Like, there is this kind of life that they have trouble identifying what animal kingdom it goes in because it doesn't fall into any of the animal kingdoms, and they're just like stumped by it. It's not existent anymore, but it's like the precursor to trees. And it was just interesting the way scientists talk about stuff like we can't identify it. And I know I'm not the smartest person in the world. I'm not trying to, but that's why what makes you smart. And when you're like, I'm never going to know everything. And like, what about if there's life that we can't identify? What if there is life? It's just like in a different dimension. And we look at like these gaseous planets and think there's no life sustained on it, but what if there is? We just can't see it with our human eyes. Like, what about that? Like, so, that's the kind of stuff I think about. But that is a shame, Fendi. There's so much. Oh, hi, Boy. How are you doing? So much crazy stuff going on. Why would just like and the fact that you think Trump is a businessman, like that's what people's hopes that had high hopes for him, in my opinion, was he was going to help people out, help the average American, help business owners. He knew what it was like to run a business, so he wasn't going to do this like crap with the regulations like Obama did, where I had to literally pay a fee for not filing taxes for my weighted blanket business when I made zero sales. I had quit and I just didn't like take the whatever, close down the tax ID number, whatever. And then I had to pay money because I didn't file taxes for no sales. And this is the ridiculousness that, the pendulum swings too far to the left and Democrats tend to make some ridiculous regulations, and then the Republicans come in and save the day and take them away. But it's just this constant ping pong back and forth where nothing really gets done. And anyways, may have been there 3,000 years ago, Train said. I was abducted tonight. Maria, what are you talking about, Maria? Are you okay? I remember you. Trump just gave pesticides a get out of jail free card. Also, get rid of lobbyists, get rid of executive orders. Yes, Gloom. At the very least, like I mean, like yes, get rid of lobbyists for sure, but at least like cap how much money they're allowed to, like wasn't there a cap before Obama? Yay, more pesticides, real MTVs. Yeah, Trump doesn't give a shit. He's on his way out. And that's how people like him think. They don't think about the future. That's why they can operate the way that they do. That is a shame. I did not hear that, Gloom, but I'm not surprised. Are we talking politics? I'm from Alberta, Canada. How do you feel that Alberta wants to separate apart from the rest of Canada? Do you think it would help us or no? Oh, Shiesty, you'd probably be a better person to answer that question. Why does Alberta want to separate? Is Alberta like the countryside of Canada? Please correct me if I'm wrong. I think I've heard that before, that Alberta is like where the hicks are. And I'm sorry, like I am considered a hick by a lot of people in my country, so I don't mean that in a bad way. My name is Christian Salisbury, and I love you. Oh, I love you too, Christian. No, I'm married. I do love everybody. Guys, why did half of America vote for the living Lorax to be our president? I thought maybe we were a little smart, but no. Silly creature. I thought I had higher hopes for Trump personally. And I can just speak for myself, but I fell for like I was saying, the bullshit. He wasn't a typical career politician, and he was going to be the difference that we needed to drain the swamp. And here we are. He's like the swamp creature, inviting all his swamp creature friends. So I do understand where you're coming from, because I feel like, but also at the same time, I can't fault people because it took me years to see it. And when people said that he was going to turn into a fascist, people said that they were concerned about their birth control, and I was like, "Oh, that's silly." And I feel bad for saying that. I feel sincerely bad. I was wrong, and women were right, and they saw more than I did, and men, some men too. But like the women that were trying to like open everybody else's eyes that I looked past, I'm like, they were right. The materials we're made of is extremely common in the universe, and there's many planets found that could potentially support life similar to ours, Tara said. Yeah, I used to have a Carl Sagan quote in our homeschool room. It's like, you're made of star stuff. Something about star stuff. Both options were trash. Don't even lie, Magic Link said. Fendi, Lydia's okay to stuff's going on. Why? Because it's only doing what a dying, collapsing empire does, lashing out and trying to grab a hold of something as it falls backwards. Yes, Fendi. And that's a good attitude to have. Um, Dirty, we haven't even got out of COVID yet, nor figured issues on our own planet. Humans are idiots, right? Dirty, I know. We really are like a plague. I mean, when is your spaceship scheduled to return for you? Joshua said Trump and the Russians are doing freaking amazing arcs. Yes, there's different planes of existence. For example, hummingbirds can see colors that human never knew exist. So it's possible we can be looking directly at an alien and not see them, right, Terror? Well, planes of perception. Right. That's what I'm telling you guys. It's been a long time. It's been 15, 16 years. I saw stuff with my third eye. It was in this one apartment we lived in. I almost feel like telling you it, but it's in the east part of Louisville. And like my husband said it the other day, he's like, we should look that up and see if anybody else has had like paranormal. um, I saw something in a bathtub that wasn't there, but I saw it, and it was demonic. It was a bad spirit, and it was like trying to be like, in my face. It kept like getting in my face like that, and it was this is how stubborn I am. My sister was in the bathroom with me, sitting on the edge of the tub, and it was behind her. And I was like, I'm not going to move. I'm not going to let this thing know. I'm definitely not going to tell her what is going on. I knew it had something to do with my apartment. And then I saw something which was actually nice. It wasn't demonic at all. It was Indians. I saw Indians out in the field by this old silo that were not there. I knew they weren't there. And I was like, okay, this has something to do with Indians. So, like, I can't explain it other than how I explained it. You know you're not seeing it, but you see it, and then you're like, "Oh, so this must be like what people who have like ultrasensory perceptions experience." Octopus might also be questionable, Glam. Octopuses are crazy. They are so wild. Um, there was like this story where this guy had two of them, and he found out one was like getting out of its tank to go visit the other. Cap the stock market claim said, yes, Fendi now was suspicious of Trump after seeing a picture of him wearing a little hat and kissing the wall in Israel. Yeah, how long ago was that, Fendi? Was that his first term, probably? Love you too, Star Boy. To be frank, why would Trump care about the future when the dude is like 80? Yeah, Tara. Yeah, I do understand that. Well, I'd like to think when I'm 80, I'm still going to be concerned. You know what I mean? Because I do believe in reincarnation, but like I also understand that attitude somewhat. One time my mother-in-law said that to me. She's like, "I don't care. I'll be gone." I said it. What about your grandkids? When gambling is almost in every state. Back in the 80s, Marvel's Punisher would shoot up gambling hangouts often, Gloom said. Oh, so you're saying back in the 80s, are you saying it was a lot less common in the 80s? I didn't really think about that. I know that there's like this boat in Indiana, but that wasn't a thing until I was an older kid, or maybe it was. I don't know what I'm talking about. You should work for a news station. You speak very well. Oh, Carl, that's so nice. Thank you. Solar eclipse in August, this August. Long live Quebec. Oh, Marquis, that's so neat. I want to see the Canadians say anything about Alberta. Oh my God, I'm going to catch up. I need to hurry up and catch up. Alberta is farming and mining. Okay, Howard, thank you for saying that. That's what I've heard people say. Like the way they describe it, it almost like they were trying to be disparaging about it. But I was like, oh, it sounds like I would want to live in Alberta if I was Canadian. Hello, prosperity, good success to you. Oh, thank you, Richard. You too. Before you ran, I said, what business does a billionaire have running a country? Gloom said, yes. Yeah, I understand that. It's just thinking about it seems like the career politicians are just in these like forever wars and they're not doing half of the and like granted, every politician can't grant every promise they make, but you just get disappointed. 6, 7. Voted for Trump 3 times, yet he was not a yes man, Michael said. Trump took my birth control, Ceci said. I'm sorry to hear that, Ceci. Hello, Prosperity and Good Success. I read that already. I am Donald, Furious said. How are you, Furious? I'm doing well. Birds can see infrared, 5-year-old news. Oh, yes, that's so interesting. Some of the stuff, this guy talking about the structured water, he was also talking about the frequencies of light and how we focus on like the blue spectrum because of the electronics and everything. But oh, it was just so interesting. And once again, I'm not saying that I 100% believe all of this, but I do think there is some truth to the electromagnetic pollution. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. I mean it in like an empowering way. We can be our healthiest versions of ourselves. Like it's not, I don't know. I'm just like fascinated with the structured water and people speculating that it helps hydrate you better if your water is structured in a certain way. Kiernan, I believe people have a third eye. Free trade is free trade. We get charged high tariffs are not letting our products in, it all Train Addict said. How are you, Train Addict? She's talking about having a third eye. I'm out, Gary the snail. See, it's people like that. Like, did you also not believe in aliens until our government was like, okay, it's official. You're allowed to believe in extraterrestrial life. Now we're granting you the permission to think there's other beings besides you in all of space, all the galaxies that we know and we don't know of. Let's talk about like how could what kind of a narcissistic ego trip do you have to be on as a scientist to be like, I know for a fact there's no life out there. Normal is a cycle on the washing machine. Yeah, I like that, Orion. I say that a lot. No, I'm not AI. Does the sleep paralysis figure count as something you see with the third eye? I don't know, Edge. If you saw it, if you, but were your, I don't know. See, were your eyes open? Because my eyes were open, and I almost feel like your eyes would have to be open to see it. But I don't know that because I know it wasn't my eye. Or maybe you do use your third eye through your eyes. But a lot of people speculate it's a pineal gland which gets like calcified. Supposedly, once again, I'm not saying 100%. And I think a lot of these things are like co-opted by, yeah, some people that like take it and run with it a little too much. Or like the structured water stuff, people were like pouring water over marbles. And I'm just sitting there kind of cringing. Like, I'm not saying that that doesn't work at all, but oh, I was just like, I really hope that like none of that's like leaded glass. And I know it's not going to leach unless it chips, yada, yada. It's just, to each their own, you know? And it was just funny to me that there's people, like, using, like, marbles and plastic, which is fine, I'm just saying, but, like, some people wouldn't even want their water in that plastic, you know? Um, I'm glad Canada and Mexico rejected the deal that 1 billion entry fee for border peace, and they're gonna find a way to get around the US supply chain so they don't have to deal with America. Good, Fendi. Fendi is, he keeps me up on some news as I think I'm being productive. I don't know. I had a kind of unproductive day today, but this week I did several like Instacart orders, trying to work on videos a little bit at a time. Do you know what Tribe Christian said? What tribe are we talking about, Christian? If you're asking me that, I don't know. Loving your channel is always, oh, thank you so much. That's so sweet. Just scrolling through when I say no matter, say you matter, and I wish you nothing but happiness in life. Have a wonderful life. Oh, Bassie, if you're still in here, that's so sweet. Thank you. You too. See, that's the kind of stuff that's like, yeah, I think it'd be more powerful in person, but we can still like exchange energy. Anna's in here. How are you? And benefit each other in a social way by like our intentions, incarnation. Hmm. Are you talking about reincarnation, Michael? What would it mean if I get reincarnated as some kind of roach or pest? Oh, Michael, see, I say I think anything's possible. So I would assume that would be some kind of punishment, right? I think most people would assume that. Oh no, some people might want to be a freaking roach. Some people might be like, God, please make me a roach. And that's like for some reason I lean towards we aren't animals or insects, we come back as humans, but maybe not. I don't know. But I have heard some beautiful stories where people say they'll come back as like a butterfly or a bird, and then the person sees that exact animal. I seen the picture like right after he got elected in 2024. That picture had surfaced and it was recent from that year. Yeah, Fendi. I think I remember what you're that's what I was thinking about. It was like right after. And you know, his daughter married to Jared Kushner. Like it's we think we live in this like free society, but it's really not that different than the things we thought we were escaping. Some monarchs, just a few families rule the world. One thing I disapprove of a ballroom more glorious than our White House. Yeah, Michael, it's crazy. Hello from Algeria, and these are the days of Ramadan for Algerian Muslims in general. Are you well? Do you know what Ramadan means? Oh, I should know what Ramadan means. Is it the beginning of like Muhammad's journey to Mecca? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to be offensive. I should totally know. Will you please enlighten me and let me know if you're in here? Because that's something that I feel like I should know. Because I've heard a lot about Ramadan. Isn't that where you fast from sun up to sundown? Is that right? So for like several days, and of course, if you have a medical condition or something like that, or if you're a kid, I don't think that you have to. You get the hydrogen better from water if you snort. Light emitting diodes all operate on the blue spectrum of EMF, which is carcinogenic, and UVC radiation. Oh, August, you sound like you know what you're talking about. Do you have a channel, August? Have you ever heard of okra water? No, Fendi. Yeah, I know. We barely ever buy this. And my husband was like, a special treat. Like he thought that because I like Baja Blast. But yeah, like you guys hardly ever see me drinking soda, right? And it's just the kind of thing that's like, one of these days, I'd like to get to the point where I'm like, the only soda I'm drinking is like homemade fermented kefir water juice. I'm in Alabama, Waya said. I'm just going to call you Waya. That's cool. How are you down there? Chip, how are you? I'm doing good. If your younger self saw you now, would she be disappointed? I don't think so. I think that if I was younger and looked forward in my life, I'd be very impressed by the fact that me and my husband have lived in several different places, moved wherever we wanted, whenever we wanted, and had a pretty good life. My home birthed our last baby, which I'm not saying that that's something that everybody has to do, but it is one of my biggest accomplishments in my life. And I don't think that we would have experienced all these things if we had lived much differently, you know? So you can't really regret anything when you really sincerely love your life. Sleep paralysis is a beautiful thing. I really love the demon that stands over me and laughs. Oh, Chuck. I've only had that once, but it was just me unable to move. And it was very scary because my baby was in the bed. My middle son was in the bed, so I just kept thinking about, "Is he okay?" Like, I couldn't move my head, and it was in that apartment that I'm talking about, seeing the evil thing in the bathtub. And I understand if you guys think I'm completely nuts, I do understand that. I just hope that you understand that I feel that comfortable to talk to you about stuff that I, like, normally wouldn't talk about unless I'm, like, with a few friends drinking late at night. Wait, the aliens becoming more active, something's going on, Michael said. It's I don't know if did anybody say that, Michael? I didn't mean that, but I mean, it's possible, like, they're trying to set us up. Have you heard of Project Bluebeam, Michael? There's this theory that they're going to fake an alien invasion, and that's when they're going to really control us all. If you think this is word vomit, you're free to leave the off-Broadway. Wait, they the alien. I already read that. Storm, thank you. Your smile is as soft as snowflakes. Clairvoyant is real. Yes, Tillman. Definitely. And I just had a brief period of my life. I don't. Oh, it's the alien stealing all the virgins. No, I'm not in a closet. Come back as a stink bug. Oh my gosh, Michael, Donnie, I live right next to a giant station. It slightly worries me. I know there isn't too much evidence, but I don't like the idea. A giant station. I will be an opossum in the next life. That's so funny you said opossum. My husband didn't know that the word was technically opossum until I told him, and he was like, he didn't believe me. It was so funny. The great book about how the mind works, Instant ESP by David St. Clair. I'm going to write this down because whenever I take screenshots tonight, I have to end up writing it down again anyways, you know? How the mind works, instant ESP. That sounds like something my sister would like too. Well, thank you. I love all the recommendations from you, Tam. And I did subscribe to, I think all the things. Was it 3 things? It's like Lent, it's Muslim Lent. Oh, Chuck, okay, I really like you saying that. See, I followed one person that converted, um, but honestly, she did kinda seem like she was doing it for the man, you know what I mean? It wasn't, like, so sincere, but sh I still learned from her. Followed a guru in the '70s, meditation, yoga, tai chi, just chat. Chit chat. Oh, Till, I have my grandpa's guru. I need to take this down. Where did it go? Oh no. Where did grandpa's guru go? Oh, shoot. Well, that's gonna bother me till I find it. I have this little picture of he went to India and lived there for like 4 years. Oh, Chip, you stop it. What did I skip, Mad Rush? Let me look at your comments. I'm sorry. Hit the thumbs down. Trump will have beautiful ballroom and Dems will cry like babies. All Dems suck. Um, okay, so Gloom, can I ask you a question, Gloom? Do you think George Floyd, I know, I'm totally switching gears. Do you think George Floyd died from an overdose, Gloom? Because I just expressed this on my channel before. That cop was wrong, and it's proof that even if you aren't, you shouldn't put your knee on somebody's neck to the point where you might have been the cause of their death. You know what I mean? It's kind of creepy to me how many people wanna, like, die on this hill of, like, "He OD'd," and, like, um, I think that that's really creepy. But, yeah, I just saw a comment that somebody made a few lives ago. Beer and wine occasionally, Gleam said. I love wine. If a younger self seen me, he'd get his ass kicked, Chuck said. So Ramadan is when Muslims fast from dawn to sunset to honor the first revelation of the Quran to Prophet Muhammad. Okay, thank you for saying that, Fendi. The first revelation of the Quran to Muhammad. Okay. I don't talk to women because I'm black. Oh, Kevin, how are you doing? Cut the crap. Reincarnation does not exist. Fev, how do you know? Are you God? I'm saying that I think that it might be possible, especially because of near death. How do you explain? There's so many stories of little kids knowing details of supposed former lives. It's like that little kid wouldn't know that. There's like, if you've never heard those stories, you should, excuse me, you should look into it because there's so many. And I know some of it could be fake. I don't believe in literally everything. My mommy loves me so much. She gave me a flower, but I ate it. Oh, that's sweet. Project Bluebeam was 2015. WikiLeaks, Gloom said. Tony said hello. Hi, Tony. How are you? Thank you, Cushy. How are you doing? Aliens stealing all virgins? You mean like the fallen angels came down and took wives for themselves and were giants of men? Seems like we've heard this story before. One doomslayer. That is so funny. Oh my gosh. How sad can't talk to ladies due to being black, Chip said. He's silly. I mean, I hope he's just being silly, but he says that in my lives a lot. He talks about how he's too black or whatever. I hope God blesses you with the heart. And I subscribed. Oh, thank you, James. I'm glad to have you. Time for the harvest doom. I am still waiting for big robots to fight, Gloom said. My rat terrier, Roxy Joe Biden, attacked an opossum on my Roxy Joe Biden. That is so cute. Roxy Joe Biden. I wanted to say it one more time. Chauvin also took way too long to call EMS. Yes, Edge of South. Just inhumane. Candace called this out, never followed up. She said, free the officer. Really, Gloom? I blame police training. Yes, yes, Donnie. If they released a drug that could stop aging, but you were 90 by the time it was released, would you still use it? Oh no, Donnie. I don't think most people would want to be stuck at 90. You're a breath of fresh air. Class consciousness may be a more realistic prospect than I give it credit for. Thank you, proletarian. That's so sweet. Hi, Bone. How are you? People are demons with guidance and without guidance and oversight. One doom. See, I struggle with this. I mean, I don't know. So when we're like hunters and gatherers, I think that like when we are surviving and spending most of our time surviving and living in small communities, I don't think that we're like at our worst. It's like the larger the communities get, it's just unfortunate that celebrate paganism, Golden said. Proletarian, I really don't dig the alien conspiracy stuff, but hey, what the fuck do I know? I just want to eat the rich on this planet. Yeah, proletarian, like it's my least favorite paranormal thing. I'm way more into like Bigfoot, even cryptid. Just think about like they think things are extinct and then they find them again sometimes. Like they're still identifying certain species of things or like, a new species of certain animals. I think it's totally possible that there's things we don't know about. And especially in all the ocean. I remember a long time ago, because I always loved animals and like anything to do with documentaries on animals, like the Animal Planet and um I love going to SeaWorld and stuff. They theorized that the giant squid was a thing. They're like, we think there might be this giant squid, and now we have seen them, like it's stuff like that really is exciting. And they say that okra water has health benefits, by the way, Lydia, if you're interested in that or grow okra. That's one thing I don't grow, Fendi, but I would like to. And I've almost bought purple okra before, but it's like botanical interest is where I see that, but it's always sold out or something. But that's one thing that I would like to grow one day. And um, I wonder what makes it special, but any water, like if you I just cooked peas the other night, and when I was draining the water off and it was green, I was like, "Oh, if I had a plant to put this," but of course you don't want to put hot water on your plants, but like if you cook vegetables, like the leftover water is really good for your plants. Drink beer, buy low, sell high. Magic Dragon, how are you? Lydia, I don't come off as obnoxious, do I? Another streamer I like told me that I was very weird and annoying, not trying to be that way in your chat too. Donnie, no. Donnie, not at all. I'm even going to make sure I haven't missed any of your comments tonight. If they release a drug that could stop aging, no. I live right next to a giant. Yeah, no, Donnie. And I'm even looking in your last live. No, not at all, Donnie. You add a lot to the conversation. You say things that are very on topic. And if you don't say something that's very on topic, it's a neat and interesting question, like the aging thing. They, you know, Donnie, whenever somebody treats you like that, somebody like you, and they're jealous. They wish that they could be as lively in conversation as you. That's why they're trying to tear you down. For sure, there's probably a lot we don't understand. I guess I just get a kind of tunnel vision about class politics and revolutionary theory crafting. Everybody has their thing, and I'm not trying to, like, label you, but I think like, some of the most brilliant people hyper focus on things. And it might be a little, like, atypical in their, interests or intense focus on interests, but, like, we need that. That's who becomes the experts and stuff, ideally. Shamu, dolphin still crying. Oh my gosh, remember Free Willy? Yeah, Shamu, that whole thing, White what was the name of the documentary? White something or anyways, yeah, that was really sad to find out that they weren't treating those insanely smart animals properly. Everyone like and subscribe per the Magic Dragon. Oh, Mr. Marvin. Mr. Carey, the number one mod on my channel. I call him number one, like he's there most of the time. He is not doing well, you guys. So think good thoughts for Mr. Carey. He's in a lot of pain today. He's not feeling well. And yeah, if you pray or just think good thoughts, whatever, think them for Mr. Carey. I feel really bad for him. I couldn't imagine. Mm, I just feel so bad for people dealing with disabilities and in this world, in this economy. And he keeps things super positive most of the time. I don't think people really can imagine what exactly he goes through, especially because he is so positive. I'm tripping really fucking hard on mushrooms right now, and I so really needed to get that. So thank you. Mm, I'm glad that we could help. Well, they were computing, Anna said. Anna, what are you talking about? Maud the Dragon, easy. Magic is fine. That's actually, this is pretty laid back. If my friend says he's about to free Willy, I don't look, Chuck's. Oh, Chuck. Yeah, I was still like worked up from the guy earlier. And I know people are gonna think I just if you are thinking about starting a YouTube channel personally, whatever your niche is, whatever your niche is, oh my God, I always have trouble saying that word. You can do it no matter what your interests are. There's an audience for you, your personality, and your interests. Just go be genuine, okay? Because there are people that get thousands of views on videos where they are proselytizing, they're preaching sermons, and in between, they're saying, "Yeah, I went after a guy with a chainsaw that was turned on, and I know it was wrong." It's like, he still gets an audience. And it was people like that. I'm like, I need to make videos because I know not everybody's going to love me, but I think that it is possible that if my friends, I already wrote that. Pray Mr. Carey gets feeling better real shortly. Amen. Michael said, Amen. Pull my finger Saturday, Gleam said. That was so funny. I remember when you said that. I am magic, Magic said. Oh, I know you are, except for music. Music is hardest to get an audience on YouTube. Oh, DJ, really? Yeah, that does make sense. Oh my gosh, I love me some harp music, and there's so many talented harp players that take, there's like Gangsta's Paradise harp, played by a harp. There's like every song you can think of almost. And cover songs, like it excites me. I found Jasmine Thompson on here years ago. She was like 14 years old when I found her. She's a singer and she did a lot of covers, but she also has original music. She has a lovely tone of voice, like pretty unique. And I found Lindsay Sterling on here. It's so funny. Somebody I follow, she was talking about going to a Lindsay Sterling concert in Louisville. I wanted to be like, but she's the kind of person I feel like I can't correct. I can't be like, it's Louisville. Louisville, not a good song, Magic Dragons. Um, you don't like Gangster's Paradise? Are you guys proud of me? I remembered what they were talking about. I think that that is a classic. I played Egyptian music for my 2 cats when freaked out. William, I saw shorts where people were playing that. That's so funny. So one reacted and the other just like didn't at all. I'm actually a harpist. Really, Chuck? Really? That's cool. King David harp player. I didn't know that, Michael. I don't think my eyes are so red. Are they? Oh, maybe they are. Look at this huge zit. I had a zit patch on earlier today and it's like witch hazel. My gosh, it didn't really help. Louisville. Louisville. Do you know D? Joyfully said. I don't think so. Also a compulsive liar, Chuck said. Are you talking about David? I'm actually a harpist. No, it was Michael that said David. Think Kalia recently died, RIP. Yeah, I think so within the last year. What part of YouTube abyss have I fallen into now? Oh, I don't know, MG. I don't know why YouTube recommends my lives the way that they do, but I'm grateful. But yeah, gosh, it's so sad all the people that have passed away. Did you guys see Eric Dane, the guy that people would call McDreamy? Or he was on. See, I only watched Grey's Anatomy, like the first season it came out. I remember I was living in Fort Lauderdale and I really did like it. It was good. No, you're not, Fendi. Not around me. Oh, nurse, how are you doing? I hope you're having a good weekend. Um, so he passed away from ALS, and I'm not saying this for certain, but supposedly he was a proponent of like pushing the one size fits all novel medicine. Literally never made anything like it before. This is happening. Oh no. Um, Give me 1 second. I'm gonna change it to green screen and hope that this is so weird. I think it might be because my phone is like low on battery and or gonna like overheat. Oh dear. Yeah, it's just not gonna it's just not gonna work. Yeah, Fendi, I know. Like I accidentally closed out my phone screen and then I came back and it's like this and my phone feels hot. Maybe it's the government. This is so weird, like, my phone charger won't stick on it. Well, anyways, I guess that's my cue that it's time to go. You can hear me, well, that's good. Electric bill past due? No, ugly redeem. That's funny that you said that because our power did go out yesterday, and it freaked me out when I called the electric company. They were like, "There's no outage in your area," and I was like, "Oh, shoot, I know we didn't, we paid it before the shut-off date." But anyways, it was an electric pole was down. We were just like the first people to call. This is just so weird. You think that it would show me. Okay, I'm gonna try something real quick. If I don't come back, I love you guys. Oh no, that's not gonna happen. Never mind. That was gonna end the stream. Not doing that yet. Good stream. Try paying your internet bill next time. Donnie, I don't even have an internet bill. I just use my phone data. You know what I mean? Um, Maybe, I don't know. I'm pretty wide awake. Maybe I'll just take a little break and I might hop on in a little while, but I might not. Usually when I say that, I don't end up doing it. The NSA did it, Fendi said. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. Maybe YouTube is Democrat. You know the difference between a divorce in Kentucky and Ohio? Boo. What the difference between a divorce in Kentucky and Ohio? What, boo? I need to know what the punchline of that is. Um, Good stream, Lydia. Try paying. Okay, so why do I read this? Screen was linking, then went black. Maybe you should stream like this, Fendi. Some people do. It's like AM radio. Yes. I am looking for my dream girl that can do two things, that can move her body like a cyclone, just like in that movie video by Baby Bash, and that can belly dance. Oh gosh, good luck, Roberto. Well, this is so funny to me. Okay, say huh. I did say huh, because, okay. Sometimes when I laugh loud, I get, "It's a UFO," Manuel said. Oh my gosh. Well, I guess maybe I'll try to go find some more interesting stuff to talk about, and maybe I'll be back on in like 15 minutes. If not, I hope you all have a great night. And Stoned Papa, I don't know what is going on, but I'm gonna take a break and I might get back on like around 10:30. I don't know what is going on. Love you guys. I hope to see you. Thank you, Pyramid. Thank you, Gloom. Bye, guys.